Building military and civil defense facilities deep down in the bedrock not only has advantages such as protection and camouflage, they are insanely fun to explore. These bunkers were built with varying degrees of strength, and some could even withstand a nuclear explosion. Today, many of these bunkers are sealed and forgotten, but some still remain for the future generations to explore, as they are an important part of our cultural heritage. Welcome to the underground, where the defense of our society went on for decades without anyone noticing above. At the end of the Cold War, there were 39 coastal artillery batteries in Sweden. These were placed deep down in the bedrock, and the objective was to protect Sweden's long coastal line from an invasion from Russia. This hidden artillery bunker is situated in Storholmen, an island outside Sundsvall. About 1.2 kilometers of tunnels and over 5,000 square meters in size, this is a large bunker complex and easy to get lost in. As you walk through the tunnels, exits appear here and there, and this particular one is one of many emergency exit tunnels for quick evacuation of the facility, or for a quickly getting outside to access the other defense functions such as ground combat and anti-air gun artillery. This bunker was completed in the late 1950s and was closed and sealed like many other Swedish military complexes in the 1990s. This defense facility was a part of a group of several artillery bunkers around the Bay of Sundsvall. Next to the artillery cannons are empty shelves that reveals that this was the running storage for the ammunition. The main artillery consisted of 3 cannons of a caliber of 15.2 centimeters and also anti-air gun artillery. This room was the command center, and along with the target data from the radars, the battle was controlled from here. This is the switchboard, both for internal telephone and also external via cables to other defense sites in the area, as there were several other batteries around Sundsvall that worked together. Radio communication was of course available as a backup communication if the cables were knocked out. The spiral staircase takes up to the command post, and lots of original parts are left, including this command switch. A considerably large kitchen, which was required as the staffing was over 300 soldiers inside the bunker. In this room stood a DC generator that would supply the bunker with the electricity if the main power C cable from the mainland was inoperable. Now let's get out of this bunker and then we go on towards the capital of Sweden. Without the oil, all of Sweden would stop, the whole society and the military would collapse. Guaranteeing a stable supply of oil and fuel would give Sweden endurance in a crisis situation or war. 600 meters into the cliff edge from the Baltic Sea, there is a secret from the Cold War hiding in a former mine. Now, we will get all the way through the entire tunnel system right into the water-filled former mine shaft that previously stored 60,000 cubic meters of fuel for the Swedish military for many years. MI355 was the name of this fuel storage bunker located in the middle of an idyllic country community. In the 1950s, the Swedish Air Force was the 4th largest in the world and needed large stocks of aviation fuel during the Cold War era. Geologist Tor Hagemann's idea to store oil in rock chambers was tested for the first time in the closed Fältspar mine in Sweden. This solution was called the Swedish method, which meant that oil was stored directly in unlined rock rooms on a bed of water. Converting an existing mine for this purpose was both economically smart and with short construction time. Ytterby oil storage bunker began to be constructed in 1953, and in 1960 the fuel bunker was in full operation. In here is the storage area, which was formerly the mine shaft. The depth is whopping 170 meters. On the surface of the water there are residues of diesel that are regularly skimmed off. The aviation fuel MC-77 was stored from the beginning until 1978, when it was established that jet fuel was exposed to a chemical reaction in the bedrock, with a number of engine failures as a result. Then they started storing diesel instead, which is not as sensitive as aviation fuel. The emergency exit is accessed via the upper water pump room. A number of steps takes you to the first level and then continues via a vertical ladder to the next level. Today is the last part sealed off and sand is filled outside this blast door. Ytterby mine also has a fascinating mining history, including discoveries of rare earth metals. But now we will go southwest to a place well hidden in Denmark's largest forest. Defending one's country is not just a task for the military. Civil preparedness is fundamental to surviving a war. Regan West is the Danish government bunker where the Danish government and royal house were to be secured in event of war or other threats. Denmark's best kept secret was hidden in the northern part of Denmark, just outside the city of Aalborg. The main task was to coordinate the civil defense in Denmark in the event of invasion, and the main scenario was that the invasion would come from the east. The heart of this gigantic bunker consists of 2 rings with 2 floors in each ring, as well as several different service tunnels and shafts. The construction started in 1963 and took 5 years to complete. The total area of this bunker is 5,500 square meters with over 2 kilometers of tunnels, and 350 people were supposed to work and live here in a national crisis or war. Regan West was active from 1969 to 2012. It was classified as a regional smaller command bunker to further mask the facility's status as a governmental bunker. Ring 1, which is closest to the entrance, housed the office porch and the ongoing operation on the upper floor, and the lower floor housed the communication rooms, technical equipment and the important radio studio for communicating with the Danish population. Also, the hospital wards were down here, including doctors and nurses. Ring 2, which is located further into the bunker, was the actual residential part with living rooms and bedrooms. The interior is a time capsule from the active area. Everything is preserved as it once was. Now we have come to the most important room of the bunker. This is the situation room. It was here the all important decisions were to be made and all situational data from the outside world were analyzed. This is the VIP room, intended for Queen Margrethe to live in. The standard of the furniture is higher, but not by much. These are oxygen tanks, which together with the air purification system could supply 350 people with air for 7 days in a completely sealed-off bunker. Up here we have the emergency exit, where people were winched up in a basket, which is called the rocket. Now we will look at the previously emergency exit, the number 2 exit. This was previously equipped with a ladder to be able to get out. The emergency exit is also functional as an air intake. Today it's converted into an elevator. And now we have entered the kitchen and continue to the living rooms, the dining room and the lounges. This is Regan West's signature room, and in here we see chairs designed by Werner Panton. Regan West was built in the middle of the Cold War, where the royal family would share housing and their lives with officials from the state of Denmark. Here they would live their lives side by side during the Third World War. Now you will experience one of Sweden's most important defense facilities during the Cold War. This is Hemsö Fortress, located 140 meters above sea level on the island of Hemsö, which was one of the largest coastal artillery bunkers in Sweden. The central part of the bunker is located 40 meters deep. The Swedish granite is a fantastic asset and creates good conditions for building underground facilities. Construction time was 4 years and was ready to battle in 1957 and was active until 1992. Unlike the artillery bunker in Sundsvall that we visited earlier, this facility is in preserved condition with intact interior. And Hemsö Fortress is a governmental listed building and protected for the future. This geographical area around Hemsö has always played an important role in the Swedish defense against an invasion from Russia. To prevent the advance of the enemies to the river Ångermanälven, a massive defense was built around the river and the coast. Important industries and hydropower plants were also top priority to defend. The main weapon system was three 15.2 cm cannons. Each cannon had a crew of 25 men, and over 70 smaller bunker trenches were scattered around on the surface where the ground combat troops were stationed. This defense complex was self-sufficient for 90 days, and 340 soldiers could live here together in a war situation. In peacetime, around 200 soldiers were stationed here, who served for 5 months down here. And just as it should be, the officers' mess has a clearly higher standard with China. And this is the NOAA Polar engine that produced 370 kilowatts and delivered 535 amps of power. Now we have made it 0.5 kilometers into the facility, and up here are the storage areas for all sorts of things, everything from underpants to radar monitors. At most, Sweden had between 6,000 and 8,000 storage locations that would supply the military with material in a war situation or during drill exercises. If an attack came from the east, Sweden would deploy air defenses, submarines, warships, and these coastal batteries would be an important part of Sweden's total defense strategy. Only a small wooden shed can be seen on the surface, disguised as a fisherman's hut, which hides the entrance of a 5-story deep bunker. This bunker is a steel structure that rests in springs and was nuclear resistant, including EMP protections. This vertical bunker, which was a military measuring station bunker or an artillery fire control facility, capable of withstanding a nuclear attack. The task was to provide the coastal artillery bunkers with target data. The hatch opening procedure is one of a kind. An incredible massive steel hatch opens with a hydraulic system, a shockwave lock and an airlock waiting before we reach the main bunker. This bunker served Hemsö Fortress, as we saw in the previous chapter, and also Hemsö the artillery bunker, which is located 7 kilometers from here. Kläffsön was built quite late in the Cold War era and was ready to battle in 1970 and was active until 1989. Laser video and radar was used to bring data to the command center, and all transmission was digital. That was quite unusual during this time. And this is the radar room, and the blue colors on the wall is to increase the contrast when watching these CRT radar monitors with amber phosphor. 15 men and women served this bunker and shared a space of 200 square meters, and this facility was self-sufficient for 30 days if needed. Just like Hemsö Fortress, so is this bunker in preserved condition also a national listed building, which must be preserved for the future. Just like the oil bunker in Ytterby, a concrete mantle was cast as a roof after drilling and blasting into the rock. And under this hatch you reach the lowest part of the bunker. Down here are the tanks for water, oil and sewage. You can also see the building's suspension. The entire bunker hangs from these springs from above. In the preparation for the 1992 Total Defense Decree in Sweden, the threat of a large-scale attack on Central Europe was written off. Now, it was clear that the Cold War was over. As always, thanks for watching.